1. 1967 Dodge Coronet W23. This car wasn't just weird, it was deliberately backward. Designed specifically for drag racing, Dodge made the bizarre choice to put smaller 10-inch drum brakes on the front and bigger 11-inch drums in the back, exactly opposite of normal cars. Why? The smaller front brakes reduced weight, while the bigger rear brakes helped plant the tires for better traction. They even moved the massive 90-pound battery to the trunk to improve weight distribution. Only 55 were ever made, all rolling off the assembly line on February 12, 1967. 2. 1969 Dodge Dart GTS 440. If you thought putting a big engine in a small car was a recipe for insanity, meet the 1969 Dodge Dart GTS 440. Dodge took their economy-sized Dart and crammed a monster 440 cubic inch V8 engine into it, the same power plant used in much larger Chargers and Coronets. The result was so wild that Dodge wouldn't even offer it with a manual transmission. Only the 3-speed automatic was available, because trying to shift gears with that much power in such a lightweight body would have been a nightmare. Dodge built 640 of these cars, but many were raced hard and wrecked. Only about a third survive today, with collectors willing to pay over $60,000 for these compact monsters. 3. 1970 Dodge Challenger TA. The 1970 Dodge Challenger TA was Dodge's answer to Trans-American Sedan Championship racing, but they built a wilder street version for the public. Unlike the race car's 305 cubic inch engine, the Street TA came with a 340 V8 featuring 3 two-barrel carburetors. Though officially rated at 290 horsepower, it actually made closer to 350. It was one of the first production cars to feature different tire sizes front and back, with E60x15 in front and G60x15 in the rear. 4. 1970 Dodge Superb 426 Hemi. If rare is what you're after, the 1970 Dodge Superb 426 Hemi should be on your radar. While Dodge sold over 15,000 Superbs that year, only 36 came with the legendary 426 Hemi engine. In fact, across 4 production years, just 349 Hemi Superbs were ever built. Finding an authentic one today is nearly impossible, and if you do, prepare to shell out over $200,000. 5. 1971 Dodge Charger RT 440 plus 6. The 1971 Dodge Charger RT 440 plus 6 represented the last hurrah of the true muscle car era. With a fresh body design featuring a split front grille and optional hidden headlights, this Charger packed serious power. The plus 6 inches referred to its 3 two-barrel carburetors, or 6-pack, that boosted output to 390 horsepower. One of its flashiest options was the Ram Charger hood with a scoop that popped up when you pressed a switch inside, a feature Plymouth called the air grabber on their cars. 6. 1976 Dodge Aspen RT. The 1976 Dodge Aspen RT emerged during one of the most challenging periods for performance cars. Despite winning Motor Trend's Car of the Year award and selling over 500,000 units in its first year, the Aspen quickly developed a reputation for problems. Rust appeared too soon, ignition systems failed, and quality was inconsistent. The RT badge returned for sportier models, but sporty was generous. The best engine option was a 360 cubic inch V8, making just 170 horsepower. While it started as a big deal, it quickly became just another odd car of its time. 7. 1977 Dodge Monaco 400. The 1977 Dodge Monaco 400 was an odd car from a confusing time. It was essentially a rebadged Coronet with stacked square headlights to make it look fresh, but most people saw through the disguise. Despite being marketed as a mid-size family car, Dodge offered it with a surprisingly large 400 cubic inch V8 making 190 horsepower. One of the last big block V8s available as fuel economy concerns were killing off these engines. 8. 1980 Dodge Mirada CMX. The 1980 Dodge Mirada CMX arrived during Chrysler's darkest financial hours. This personal luxury coupe was supposed to compete with popular models like the Monte Carlo, but poor timing meant it never found its audience. With sky-high interest rates and Chrysler itself struggling to survive, buyers weren't exactly lining up. The Mirada came with a 318 cubic inch V8 that wasn't very powerful or efficient, getting just 10 mpg in the city and 12 on the highway. 9. 1984 Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. The 1984 Dodge Daytona Turbo Z was Chrysler's bold attempt at making a front-wheel drive muscle car. Yes, you heard that right, a muscle car that pulls instead of pushes. Chrysler was so confident they claimed it could compete with the Porsche 944. The Daytona packed a turbocharged 2.2-liter four-cylinder making 142 horsepower, enough to hit 60 miles per hour in 8.2 seconds and run the quarter mile in 16.4 seconds. 10. 1986 Dodge Omni GLHS. The 1986 Dodge Omni GLHS, which stood for Goes Like Hell S'more, proves that Carroll Shelby could make anything fast, even a basic economy hatchback. Only 500 of these hopped-up Omnis ever existed, and each one was a box-shaped rocket. Under the hood was a turbocharged 2.2-liter four-cylinder, making 175 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque. Wild numbers for a small front-wheel drive hatchback in the 80s. It could hit 60 miles per hour in 6.5 seconds and reach 130 miles per hour, outrunning many V8 cars while looking like a grocery getter. 11. 1989 Dodge Dakota Sport Convertible. The 1989 Dodge Dakota Sport Convertible might be the strangest vehicle on our list, a convertible pickup truck. It was the first of its kind in almost 60 years, and Dodge believed it would be a hit. The problem? Truck lovers didn't want a convertible, and convertible fans didn't want a truck. The soft top was manually operated, and when folded down, it sat on top of the truck bed instead of disappearing into it. Dodge offered it with a 3.9-liter V6, making 125 horsepower, and buyers could choose between rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. The company expected to sell up to 5,000 units in the first year, with hopes of reaching 30,000 annually. Instead, they sold just 2,842 trucks the first year and only 909 in 1990 before pulling the plug. 12. 1991 Dodge Spirit RT. The 1991 Dodge Spirit RT doesn't look like much, just another boring four-door sedan, but Dodge claimed it was the fastest sedan made in America, and they weren't joking. This unassuming family car packed a 2.2-liter turbocharged four-cylinder with a special 16-valve dual overhead cam head designed by Lotus. The result was 224 horsepower and enough grunt to hit 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds, as quick as some sports cars at the time. Unlike most sedans, it only came with a 5-speed manual transmission, no automatic option. Dodge only made 1,208 of these cars for the US in 1991, out of which 774 in red and 434 in white. 13. 1992 Dodge Stealth RT Twin Turbo. The 1992 Dodge Stealth RT Twin Turbo was a strange mix of futuristic technology and old-school muscle. This rebadged Mitsubishi 3000 GT packed all-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, and adjustable suspension, but also had a cramped cabin and a frustrating dashboard layout. Powered by a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, it was shockingly fast despite its hefty weight. It featured pop-up headlights, a unique front bumper, and a crescent-shaped rear spoiler. Inside, the seats were comfortable, but some dashboard controls were nearly impossible to reach. The turn signal indicators were too bright at night, and tall drivers had to lean the seat back just to fit. Despite these flaws, its electronic controls, selectable settings, and blistering performance made it an unforgettable machine. 14. 1987 Dodge Shelby Charger GLHS. The 1987 Dodge Shelby Charger GLHS, number 591 out of only 1,000 ever built, was loud, rough, and sometimes felt like it was shaking apart, but it was also shockingly quick. Its turbocharged 2.2-liter four-cylinder engine made 175 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque, enough to hit 60 miles per hour in 6.7 seconds and reach 134 miles per hour. It came in black with Shelby decals and embroidered seats. Driving it was an experience. The shifter felt stubborn, the clutch was heavy, and the engine made so much noise that everything inside seemed to rattle. Under hard acceleration, it had serious torque steer, and under braking, the rear wheels locked up too early. Yet once the turbo kicked in, all of that was forgotten. It was rough, unpolished, and completely unpredictable, but that's what made it so special. 15. 1990 Dodge Daytona IROC RT. Finally, the 1990 Dodge Daytona IROC RT was an odd mix of big ideas and strange decisions. Initially shown as a concept car with an all-glass roof and all-wheel drive, the production version lost those features but kept the fixed headlights, rounded taillights, and crosshair grille. The top IROC RT model received a turbocharged 2.2-liter engine making 224 horsepower, paired exclusively with a 5-speed manual transmission. The concept featured massive 17-inch wheels with experimental Goodyear tires, though the production model was toned down. While quick, these cars were loud, and the ride quality was stiff enough to make city driving feel like an endurance test. Which one of these is your pick? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for the next video.